Well, Cliff Enico, man, you're a author, a lawyer, a syndicated columnist. You got books out. You're helping us get through the legal waters of entrepreneurism and all this kind of stuff. But more importantly, you got a book out now that's going to help us, get through crowdfunding to start a business, because the laws of change is going to burst on the scene, and everybody and his brother's going to be into this, and you know all the new rules, don't you? What's going to happen and all this
Well,
kind of stuff.
my wife says that I'm a legend in my own mind, Matt. That's it. Yeah, this is what I
I'm the
do.
same way.
Well, you have to understand, you're talking to a guy who writes law books for a hobby. So that tells you a little bit about me and my social life and everything like that. But this is a major development, Matt.
Yeah.
The laws are changing now in a very big way. Really, for the first time in almost 100 years now, it's going to be
Wow.
possible for startup and early stage companies, entrepreneurs, to promote their companies and raise capital publicly using general advertising methods, crowdfunding, and all that. The Jobs Act, which Congress passed in 2012, authorized, really opened the floodgates now to a lot of new fundraising things. You now can legally raise capital on the internet for the very first time,
Wow.
and that's a very exciting development.
But also more than that, it seems like if you're a private, you wanted to go public or whatever, you have to get these lawyers and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever to follow all these rules. Now
Right.
that's gone. I mean, you get
Well,
go for almost nothing.
It's not totally gone,
Right,
by
but
any
it's
stretch
a
of the imagination. We're going to talk
fraction.
about this, of course.
Yeah.
Whenever the government gives you something with one hand, Matt, they
Right.
always take it away with the other. So
Right.
we're gonna talk a little bit about the rules,
Yeah.
but it's a lot easier than it used to be.
Right.
One of the biggest law changes, Matt. It used to be that you could, if you were a privately owned company, unless you did an IPO, you could not offer your stock to people
Uh-huh.
that you didn't know.
I see. Right.
Everything had to be prearranged, in a very specific. It was a very specific
An
dance that you
IPO
had
is
to
one of
do.
those things like Facebook does and all this. You had to be in the in crowd to do, right?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'll give you an example. When eBay went public in 1996, I think it was, the founder, Pierre Omidyar, wanted to issue a special class of stock to his sellers, to the people that were selling stuff online.
Ah, I
And the
see.
rules at that time prohibited him from doing that. He
I
couldn't
see.
do it. He had to go through the big investment banks on
Yeah.
Wall Street and all of that.
You
There was
had
a
to
very
belong to a
specific
country
dance
club
that
to
he
do
had
that.
to do.
You
And
had
so
to
as a
belong-
result, a lot
yeah.
of his people got left out of the offering. And these are
Yeah.
the people that these were his fans. These are the people that
Right.
he wanted to reward for
Yeah.
their loyalty to the company. Now, under the new rules, a guy like Pierre Omidyar would be able to do something like that.
But more
It's very
importantly,
exciting.
the average small business with not, sitting on millions of dollars or hundred thousands of dollars now could get into that, and particularly more so when the rules are about to become easier in a few
Correct.
months, hopefully, or whenever that happens. And that's when
That's
the
exactly right.
important
And
stuff
that's the
is gonna
exciting
happen.
thing. Companies can now reward their friends and family
Ah.
and their customers and their suppliers and their fan base in a way that they couldn't before. And that's
Right.
what's really exciting about this whole development.
And so it will be now. The SEC is working on the final rules. So I mean, like you could get a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 from almost anybody now
Yeah, that's the thing.
to be
Exactly.
an owner. Yeah.
And let's talk about that a little bit. There's two pieces to this, Matt, and then let's talk about this. The first piece is what we call Title II. This is Title II of the Jobs Act, and this is in existence now. We're not waiting for anybody. You can do this now. If you're looking to raise money for a startup or early stage company now, you can solicit funds using what they call general solicitation, methods of general
But now
advertising.
this is not crowdfunding like Kickstarter. This is crowdfunding for investors.
Right. This is
Right.
crowdfunding for investors. That's right.
Right, right.
And as long as you admit only what they call accredited investors, people
Fat
who have
cats.
a lot of money,
Right.
fat cats, people with deep pockets, people who are
Yeah.
like Wall Street insiders, people that
Right.
know what they're doing. See,
Right.
the whole purpose of this, you have to understand, Matt, the securities laws are really just consumer protection laws.
Right.
That's all they are. Their job is to prevent average people from losing all their money from fraudulent tricksters.
Right, some late guys on late night TV.
Right, yeah, late night information. Guys basically guys like this.
Right.
The SEC is there to protect them because
Right,
there's a lot
yeah.
of fraudulent promoters out there with all
Right.
kinds of crazy ideas and stuff, and the securities laws are there to protect them,
Yeah.
the investor. That's what they're there for. So the idea is the accredited investor doesn't need that kind of protection. This is
Right.
somebody who knows what they're doing. They're a sophisticated investor, and the laws they don't need those protections. So that's the whole idea. As long as you only admit those people into your inner circle,
so for the average person,
you are legal now.
But for the average person, that's good now, because I could be a small business and now find those people easier than before. Right?
That is correct. There are angel networks online, Hands of Angels and stuff like that. Angel.co is one of the big ones, angel.co. So now you can do that. You can go to these people and say, hey, I got a cool new startup company, run it by the network. And as long as you only admit, you got to be careful. You have to make sure that these people are indeed accredited. You can't just assume, just because somebody comes in and says, hi, I'm a millionaire. You can't just trust that. You have to get like a questionnaire from them. You got to do some research, look at their tax returns. But that you would do with an investor anyway.
The website handles a lot of that when you find the websites to do it on. So now that's what's now. Exactly. But now what's going to be soon is I could be a little investor and get in on the next, Facebook or whatever.
Let's talk about it. This is the second piece. This is what they call Title III. I'm just using these names because it makes it easier to describe. Title III is the section of the Jobs Act that says you can use a crowdfunding portal. That's like a specialized website to raise money from your Facebook fans, your family, your Twitter followers. You can now leverage social media to raise money, and you don't have to worry about whether or not they're accredited investors.
But they become owners. They're not like, see, my problem is a lot of people will think of crowdfunding now, oh, I'm putting money into businesses, but that's different.
No, and that's not true. Let's talk about that. I have seen Kickstarter campaigns for, business type things. You have to understand, Matt, you are not investing in that company. You're not getting stock. You're not getting bonds, because legally right now there's still some.
They can't.
These rules have to be developed.
So what will happen in the future is that you'll be able to be. What will happen in the future? You'll be able to be an equity holder, own stock in a company.
That's what's changing. See, right now, if you're in doing a crowdfunding investing on one of these things, you're really making a gift to the company. You're making a donation to them, and maybe they'll give you a little tchotchke, or they'll give you one of their products or something like that, which is fine and dandy. But also keep in mind, whenever you make a donation to a for-profit company, you cannot take a deduction for that.
I see.
Even though you intend it as a charitable gift, the company has a social mission or whatever, you cannot deduct that as on your taxes unless it is a qualified 501c3 nonprofit. You cannot do that. And a lot of people don't recognize that. They think, oh, this is an investment, I'm going to get stock, and that's not what's happening. The new SEC rules will allow that. Will allow that.
And that's really set up now for the little investor to get into hot deals that they had to join a country club to do before.
Bingo. That's exactly right. So those eBay sellers could have, under the new rules, participated in eBay's public offering back in the 90s. That's the beauty of this whole arrangement.
And now, you're the guy who's going to keep us informed when exactly this happens and what the rules and regulations I should know, because you got the book, Crowdfunding Handbook.
Let's talk about that. What I have done here, Matt, is I've written the first book that I'm aware of. It tells you exactly, step by step, how to do a crowdfunded offering under the new rules. I mean, there's books out there that'll tell you what the law is, but who reads law books? Other lawyers. That's about it. People like me. I wrote a book that tells you step by step, are you right for crowdfunding? Is yours the right kind of company? Do you have a big enough fan base to do this? Because it's going to be costly. It's not going to be easy. You can't just, throw up a website and say, here's my company, I'm selling 20% for those much. You're going to have to go through a very specific process. You're going to have to register with a funding portal, which is a specialized website that is heavily regulated by the SEC, where you can put up all your documents and people can look and investors can look at them. It's a very, very, what they're doing basically here, Matt, is they're saying, we'll let you guys do whatever you want, but it has to be through one of these portals, and we're going to regulate the hell out of these portals. That's how we're going to protect investors.
It's all going to be open to everybody too, so that would be nice.
Exactly.
Everybody will be able to see this stuff.
Right.
So
the only limit is that you cannot, at least under the current rules, you cannot invest more than $2,000 a year in crowd-funded offerings.
Right. But we don't know exactly yet until they.
This is all subject to being. Although that I think will stay. The $2,000 limit I think is going to stay.
Good.
Yeah, the
Well,
biggest.
wonderful, Cliff. I'll run out of time, so people really find out from your website. You're interested in
Okay,
this, want
my
to get
website.
on into it. Yeah, that's
Let's talk about it. The book is
okay.
called The Crowdfunding Handbook.
Handbook, right?
The Crowdfunding Handbook. You can pre-order it on Amazon now, believe
Uh-huh.
it or not, although it's not going to come out until
Right.
probably the late fall. And you can find out more about it at my other website, which is succeedinginyourbusiness.com. That's my
Okay.
nationally syndicated column. It's basically
Right.
an Ann Landers for
I
small
see.
business
Right.
owners and entrepreneurs. They
Wonderful.
they ask crazy questions, and either I answer them or I get somebody like you who really knows what he's talking about to answer them. That's basically
So
what I do.
succeedinginyourbusiness.com.
That's it,
Well,
Matt.
Cliff, thank you so much. Thanks for keeping us up to date and everybody and expanding this opportunity, because that's what it is, for other people to take advantage of what the hell's going on in this country. Because the fat cats will do it, and now it's for the rest of us.
And now the rest of us.
Right.
This is capital raising for the rest of us now, and I'm very excited about it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Cliff. Take care.
Always a pleasure, Matt. Thanks.